It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Get into the hottest topic of the day, or of the season, I should say. Everywhere you look, you should see outside there is a lack of snow right here in greater West Bloomfield. It's signifying that this long, cold winter is finally coming to an end, and it's springtime. We'll be here soon enough, March 20th to be specific, as the first day of spring. We recently had a chance to speak with several local greater West Bloomfield residents to hear their thoughts on the impeding seasonal change, and they couldn't be even more excited for what's to come, including Tom Hare, who sees many important reasons that spring weather is needed right now.
Oh, I can't wait. I just can't stand the cold. The only good thing about winter is cold tap water coming out of the faucet, but it's renewal. Everything's getting green again, and it's just my favorite time of year. It's kind of the renewal, you know, the flowers coming up. As soon as you see the tulips, like the little flowers coming up out of the ground, you know it's like, yes, the weather's changing, it's getting warmer, and you can just look forward to summer. Go for walks in the park, or take the dog for a walk, or just go bike riding, you know, just get outside, get out of the house. Absolutely.
And there's plenty of amazing, exciting things that we can all do to get out of the house and enjoy these warmer than usual temperatures that we are experiencing right now. And Tom touched on a bit, one of the best things that you can do, getting outside and going for a nice, lovely walk and enjoying some of these trails that we have in greater West Bloomfield. And other West Bloomfield residents seem to agree, highlighting that many amazing trails the city has to offer.
Well, around here in particular, there's so many trails. You see some people walking today with their pets, but even around this area here, there's just so many trails. I didn't even realize, you know, all the walking trails and things that they have, the Storybook Trail over there, and so that's beautiful. And also nature. We have a lot of bird life in this area. We also still can see a lot of deer as well. And so you get to enjoy that more when the weather's nice.
Best thing for me is actually just being able to get out again and, you know, kind of enjoy the warmer weather, even though, to be honest with you, the winter weathers here aren't that bad. It's quite beautiful also. You know, it's great walking and just being able to say hello and talk to people as they're walking also. I mean, there's a lot of places that I go to where nobody talks to anybody, and you know, it's just fun just being out there, being able to say hello and see your neighbors that you haven't seen all winter.
Yes, everyone coming out of their shell as the sun comes up and the temperatures rise a little bit. And of course, it's not just the weather that signifies the start of this new spring season, as summer businesses are starting to open their doors right here in our backyards, including the Kego Harbor Dairy Queen, finally opening for the season. Because as the heat starts to intensify, nothing helps cool us off better than ice cream. Another local resident had this to say about DQ opening for the season.
I'm excited I can get out and about and go to my favorite ice cream place, Dairy Queen, or all the local stands that are opening up, go for my walks, and don't have to bundle up. Love that ice cream, and it's hard to eat it when it's cold and you don't go out to get it, so we're excited about that.
Favorite flavor?
My favorite flavor is the butterscotch dip swirl.
And thank you again. Jake Schaff, reporter for Civic Center TV, out there interviewing and speaking to some of the local residents in greater West Bloomfield as we all enjoy these unusually warm temperatures that we are experiencing. But we will enjoy the first day of spring on March 20th, and we'll keep you updated on many other things happening and that you can do right here in greater West Bloomfield for the spring. The defending D1 state champions, the West Bloomfield Lakers girls varsity basketball team, took to the court last night to take on the Grand Blanc Bobcats in their postseason push. I actually got a chance to speak with West Bloomfield Laker and junior guard Sheridan Beal to see how it feels to be a part of this historic team going for another championship run.
It feels great. It's an honor to be a part of, the West Bloomfield community, and I look at it as just an opportunity. It's a great position to be in.
As the Lakers fight to defend their state championship title, the team knows that every game presents new challenges. But it's not just about talent. It's about heart, resilience, and an unwavering support from their community. With that mindset, they continue to push forward, staying focused on the ultimate goal.
I think it was a good atmosphere. The crowd was kind of rowdy. Girls were talking, but I like that. I like the competitiveness of it. I personally don't think it was our best game. I feel like there's a lot of aspects where we could have done better. But I think the thing that got us the win was we just kept working hard, kept listening to our coaches, and just kept going and kept pushing throughout the whole game.
On the path to continue their postseason journey, the Lakers' drive to keep their championship legacy alive is stronger than ever. For West Bloomfield Laker junior guard Sheridan Beal, this isn't just another game. It's a chance to cement their place in history and embrace the moment.
It's very important. I want to keep it going. This would be my when we get there, this would be my second one, and it's an honor. I'm happy to be in this position. I'm just embracing it.
From the stands to the court, the spirit of the West Bloomfield Lakers is alive and well as they extend their win streak to 6 straight games and write another chapter in their storied history. The impact of their success resonates throughout the community. And with that win, the Lakers will move on to play the #1 team in the OAA Red Division, the Clarkston Wolves. That'll be tomorrow, Wednesday, March 12th, 7 p.m. at Lapeer High School. Hope to see you out there. And once again, congratulations to Coach McAllister and the West Bloomfield Lakers girls varsity basketball team. On Monday, the West Bloomfield Township Board recognized American heroes, passing a resolution in commemoration of the Macon Thomas West Bloomfield chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen, which aids volunteer efforts, scholarships for the kids, and so much more right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Here's a brief moment of the dedication.
Whereas the Tuskegee Airmen overcame segregation and prejudice to become one of the most respected fighter groups of World War II, which proved conclusively that African Americans could fly and maintain sophisticated combat aircraft, paving the way for full integration of the U.S. military, and
whereas this commemoration of the legacy born directly from the efforts and determination of over 16,000 courageous men and women recognizes the fortitude of these individuals to stand in the face of adversity, and
whereas the hard-won accomplishments continues on a grand scale through the introduction of young people across the nation to the world of aviation, science, technology, engineering, and math through local and national youth programs and activities.
Now, therefore, I, Jonathan Morshay, Township Supervisor, do hereby proclaim March 22nd, 2025 as Tuskegee Airmen Macon Thomas Chapter Day.
And Chapter President Chuck Matthews spoke at the meeting, thanking the board for their recognition of the organization and the community's appreciation for the Tuskegee Airmen.
On behalf of the Macon Thomas chapter of Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated, we are truly grateful, blessed, and just honored that the West Bloomfield Township Board would give us such an acknowledgement, not just in words, but in action. The township has been a supporter of ours for many, many, many years, since inception, and we appreciate the kind thoughts, words, deeds, and everything the township has placed our way and helped us along the way.
And it is now official. Saturday, March 22nd will officially be the Macon Thomas West Bloomfield Tuskegee Airmen Chapter Day right here in our Greater West Bloomfield community. We actually do hope to reach out and speak to them on the show right here on The Splash very, very soon. But in the meantime, we just want to say congratulations. And March is also Women's History Month, and in celebration of Women's History Month, a pioneer for women's rights will be speaking at the Bloomfield Township Public Library on Wednesday, March 26 at 1 p.m. It's an event hosted by the League of Women's Voters of Oakland area. The event will provide insights into women's leadership, empowerment, and an ongoing fight for gender equality. And joining us right here live on The Splash is the keynote speaker for that event, author and podcast host, Ann Doyle. Thank you for being here.
Kevin, I'm very happy to be here.
And we appreciate your time. Just first, like I said, you're an author, right? So I want to talk about your book. March is also Reading Month, so let's highlight that. Your book, Powering Up: How America's Women Achievers Became Leaders, serves as a guide for high-achieving women who aspire to leadership roles. Can you just talk about what inspired you, first and foremost, to even write this book?
Sure. Kevin, I'm a part of that generation of women who came of age, came out of the universities, and moved into the workforce in the early 1970s, really at the height of the women's movement. And I've seen tremendous change in terms of opportunities for women and people of color over the last 5 decades. But what inspired me to write my book, it came out in 2011, the very first time. It's been updated 2 times, and people are telling me I need to update it again. But what inspired me to write it was the fact that for about 30 or 40 years, we saw tremendous movement in terms of women and people of color moving into jobs, economic opportunities that really had been padlocked for centuries. And so we saw tremendous progress. The first. But after a while, what happened was we started seeing the middle getting bigger and bigger. More women, let's say, specifically in doctors and lawyers and MBAs, but in middle management. But what we weren't seeing is women going anywhere they hadn't already been, and that was into cracking leadership. So I'm a former journalist. And that was the question I asked myself, is why are women stalled? And what is it going to take now for all these highly educated, professionally experienced women to move into leadership? And that's the research I did, and that's why I wrote the book.
Nice. Love the backstory behind that, and love how you just spoke on, you wrote the book in 2011, but you also made some changes. Time have changed a lot since then also. And with that being said, I want to speak on that. You spoke on it briefly as well. How have you seen women's leadership evolve over the past few decades, if you don't mind?
Well, I would say that we have seen tremendous progress in leadership in terms of, now you have more women in the United States Senate, more women in Congress. We've had 2 women who actually were chosen by a major political party to run for president of the United States. And even the tremendous growth we've seen in terms of women's sports. I love the story about the West Bloomfield Lakers, but what's happening in terms of the WNBA and all of that, that's all about leadership, because sports is a grooming place for women and men, to move into leadership roles. But I also want to say at this moment, I feel that we are not only stalled, but I never thought I would live long enough to unfortunately see women starting to slip backwards. And I feel very strongly that this is a moment for us to be very, very conscious and courageous about the importance of continuing to raise our voices in terms of the importance of diverse leadership to make very good decisions for our country.
Very, very well said, very well spoken. And I want to kind of dig into the importance of Women's History Month. Why is it important for communities as a whole, specifically right here in Greater West Bloomfield, to celebrate and reflect on women's contributions?
Well, I think one of the reasons is because women's history has not been written. And it's very, very important for young people growing up, to see role models of people who look like them, who have achieved great things. And women have achieved great things, but those stories have not been told. And so I'm very happy that finally there is going to be a Smithsonian Women's History Museum on the Mall in Washington, D.C. That's been in the works for a very, very long time. And it's finally, I'm probably going to live long enough to see that happen. But I think the most important part of that for me is really for our next generation of young people to understand that the history we've been taught in school isn't the full story. And we want all of our children to know the full story.
Great point, great point. As told by her story. I see what you did there. I caught on very easily. And with us right here, live on The Splash, author of Powering Up, How America's Women Became Leaders, and host of podcast Powering Up, Ann Doyle, just talking about speaking at the upcoming event Wednesday, March 26th at the Bloomfield Township Public Library, an event hosted by the League of Women's Voters of Oakland area. Now, I want to speak on this podcast very briefly, right? Your
Okay.
podcast, Power Up Women, explores women and power. Can you just talk about what are some of the most impactful conversations that you've had on that show?
Well, I like to describe it, Kevin, as a cross-generational conversation about leadership, gender, and power. And so one of the things I really tried to do is to make sure that I'm talking to diverse leaders, also of very different generations, because we have a lot to learn from older women to younger women to us. Boy, there's so many impactful conversations, but some that come to mind, Michigan Senator Mallory McMurrow speaking up in Lansing about the sexual harassment that was going on of other women legislators in Lansing. A woman who, a competitive sailor, ocean sailing around the world by herself. That kind of inspiration. Also, talking about the Equal Rights Amendment. The Equal Rights Amendment, we did a whole podcast about the fact that we are the really pretty much the only mature democracy in the world that does not include protection for women in our Constitution. And the ERA was introduced 104 years ago. It was introduced immediately after women won the right to vote, which was 1920. And we still do not have that. And so, those are the kinds of conversations that I try to have that are important in terms of history, but also inspiring leaders to, hey, get out there on the front lines and help, because my favorite expression is, well-behaved women never make history. So let's get out there and rock the boat.
There it is. There it is. Stir up a little bit of, shake things up and just make things interesting. Yeah, level the playing field. I like it. I like that. I like that. So we are running a little bit low on time, but ultimately I think I want to get to the main thing. You being the keynote speaker at this upcoming event, Wednesday, March 26, 1 p.m., Bloomfield Township Public Library for the League of Women's Voters in Oakland, of Oakland area. What do you hope attendees take away from your upcoming talk at this event?
Well, Kevin, my most important goal is to really inspire the attendees to be courageous, to step forward, to raise their voices, to be active citizens. And I strongly feel that we are at a defining moment in our country's history right now. And the last thing we want to do is to be quiet. And the League of Women Voters, which was founded in 1920, right after women got the right to vote, is all about helping educate and encourage and inspire all women and all voters to be active. And that's what I hope I can do, is to encourage people to be courageous at this moment, to raise their voices, and to be active citizens who help shape the kind of country we want to live in.
And we're hoping there's going to be a great turnout. A lot of people are going to take a lot of value in your words and your speech as well. Before we let you go, if you want to tell people how they can reach out to you, where they can listen and get to your podcast and things of that nature, please, the floor is yours.
Sure, that would be fantastic. I don't mind giving people my email address. I live in Auburn Hills. I served on the city council in Auburn Hills, and my website is andoileleadership.com. And my email is Anne, A-N-N-E, at Ann Doyle Leadership. And you'll find Power Up Women, my podcast, on Spotify or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Perfect, perfect. Once again, author and podcast host and keynote speaker at the upcoming event for the League of Women Voters of Oakland area. We have Ann Doyle. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Kevin.
Great event that you should go ahead and visit and find out some more information about it. You know, that way you can get more involved in things that the League of Women Voters of Oakland area are doing that are making great impacts as well. So continue to keep up with that, and we'll keep you updated as well. West Bloomfield High School has a brand new club that is sparking new interest in many students there. The West Bloomfield High School Fire Department Club, a brand new initiative providing students with a hands-on experience in firefighting, thanks to the West Bloomfield Fire Department. The moment I saw it, I was interested, I was curious myself. So joining me right here live on The Splash to break down exactly what this club does, training captain for the West Bloomfield Fire Department, Mr. Jeff Likowski. Thanks for being here, sir.
Thanks for having me, Kevin. I hope everything is on your side. And I'm excited to be here today to talk about the new club that we've kind of worked with the high school with to kind of bring the fire service to the students.
Yeah, so let's just get straight into it. Like, how did this come about? How did this partnership and club come about initially?
Yeah, great question. So as you can imagine, a lot of the communities lately are really struggling to try to find first responders starting a career, whether it's police or fire. And last fall, the fire department sat down with the high school, and our thought was to kind of show these students that may not know what they want to do when they leave high school, to kind of show them a career path and an option that may be beneficial to them and something that maybe they never even thought of. So we sat down with them. We kind of created a 6-week program where we have the students come to the fire department once a week for 2 hours. And we kind of give them a little taste of what it is that we do, why we do it, the importance of teamwork, and kind of seeing if this is a passion for them that they may want to continue and look into.
I like this. I like that. And this is something that I encourage other businesses, industries, organizations to reach out to the local schools to do as well, because you just never know. Sometimes in high school, you just never know the options that are available, the things, the occupations that are available. I mean, there's so many different things, and just something that can be sitting in your face, you know, just how much is needed, how much in demand. Like you said, I didn't even know that there was a need for first responders and people in that area. So thank you for providing that. So let's get into some of the important skills that the students take away from this during this program. What would those be?
Yes, so some of the things, so last week was our first week. We had our students, we gave them full set of turnout gear, just so they could kind of feel the weight of the equipment that the firefighters wear. We had them hooking up to fire hydrants, and then connecting the hose to the fire truck, advancing hose line, spraying water. We kind of taught them kind of the basic functions of what is a fire and how we can kind of mitigate that, you know, through the tactics that we have at the fire department. This week, we're going to be talking about our air packs, the SCBA bottles. So we're going to have the students get masked up in the full turnout gear, the SCBAs, and actually look for a victim in a simulated fire. So we'll smoke out a house and kind of teach them how to do search and rescue. Some of the other things that are on the list is we're going to do some ladder training and doing some ladder rescues out of a second-story window.
Oh, wow.
We have a full day of EMS that we're going to provide for them to show them how to take care of people. We have ropes, knots. We're going to bring in a car at the very end and have them cut it up with the jaws of life. And really what we're trying to show them is, you know, if you like working as a team, you have a little bit of grit and you really have a passion and a desire to help people, the fire service is a really good option for anyone kind of looking for something to do with their lives.
That's something that we definitely all have to learn at a young age, how to work with other people. And I don't think people realize the teamwork that's involved when it comes to being a firefighter, especially in these emergency situations. It involves so many different people and so many different roles. So you to kind of put that together, say, hey, like you said, if you like to work with other people, or if you can learn to be a team, and you like to kind of be in these type of situations, or we can at least teach you how to respond to them, this could be a great situation and great career for you as well. I'm loving this so far as we're talking about it. But joining me right here live on the Splash, training captain for the West Bloomfield Fire Department, Jeff Lakowski, talking about the West Bloomfield High School Fire Department Club that they're doing with the local high school students and preparing them for potential careers in emergency response or firefighting. I want to talk about the response from the students. How has it been so far? Has it been an overwhelming demand, or just talk about that, please?
Yeah, certainly. So we weren't sure what to expect. This is the first time we've kind of created a club like this. So we kind of went into it not really knowing if they would like it, if we would do a good job, kind of providing this opportunity for them. At the end of the first session, they all seemed to really like it. They had a lot of great things and feedback for us. We actually were able to find one other student that wants to join starting this week, just kind of based on some of the things they were hearing.
Nice.
So I really think at the end of this, our hope is that we can continue this year after year, maybe offer it twice in a school year, and really kind of get some interest. And really, even if they decide not to become firefighters, kind of give them a little appreciation for what some of the people do out there for our communities, and just for each other.
No, and I like that you said that too, because essentially, like you said, even if they don't want to pursue this career, it's a lot that they can still take away from this opportunity in this program. And with that being said, I want you to elaborate a little bit on how you feel the fire department views its role in general in engaging and educating the youth in West Bloomfield.
I think it's really important for the fire service, even the police force as well. One of the major jobs that we do is interacting with the public and ensuring, their safety and things that we can provide for them to give them steps to be safe. Whether it's not talking to strangers or, ensuring your smoke alarms have batteries, escape plans, what to do in a medical emergency, and really just letting our residents know that there is a group of individuals, both police and fire, that are here for them if they ever need anything. And it's just that selfless sacrifice of being there for people on their, unfortunately, the worst days.
Nice. And I love that you all work. We talked about you all visiting the elementary schools and talking to the kids about fires and emergency response. We love to see that, and we will continue to report on that right here on Civic Center TV, Splash Live as well. Let's get back to the program just briefly. Do you see the program growing? What does growth or expansion for the program look like in the future? What do you see for this program?
Yeah, it's a great question, Kevin. So as you know, we do Fire Ops 101 every year. And a lot of times we use that with teachers, politicians, things like that, just to kind of give them an idea of what it is that we do. It's a one-day event. Long term, if this program continues to grow, we've talked about doing something similar to that, but more catered towards the juniors and seniors in high school, where they could really dive in to a full day of what it is the firefighters do, and really kind of immerse them in a day. And then on top of that, giving them the resources, working with OCC, Schoolcraft, and other community colleges, of what they could do, the next steps to further their career and possibly become firefighter paramedics.
Perfect. And we're hoping that the students continuously hear the word about this, gain interest, not only in the program, but in the career in firefighting as well. So we appreciate you. If people did want to find out more information about the club, about the program, and things of that nature, or if you had a message for the community, please give that out now.
Yeah, certainly. So either reach out to the high school in West Bloomfield. They can always give us a call at the fire department, or go to the West Bloomfield Township website, where they can get more information. And then always, if anyone knows someone or they themselves want to become a firefighter or just have questions, you can reach us at our main number, And anyone here would be more than happy to talk to you. You can come in, we can give you a tour, and really answer any question that you might have.
Perfect. Continuously go out there and see the different available career opportunities right here in West Bloomfield. Once again, joining us on the splash and thanking him for his time, training captain for West Bloomfield Fire Department, Jeff Lukowski. We appreciate you again, sir.
Thank you, Kevin. And if it works out, we'd love to have you at Fire Ops 101 this year.
We are gonna get that worked out very soon, sir. Thank you again. We appreciate that. And like I said, we'll continuously keep you updated with different events and activities happening in Greater West Bloomfield that also provide opportunities for yourself and the youth as well. We're going to continuously highlight women in Greater West Bloomfield doing very impactful things for Women's History Month. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor, Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. And as Civic Center TV continuously celebrates Women's History Month with women inspiring others and achieving their own dreams. Local West Bloomfield resident Thais Leverett had an opportunity to speak with a few local impactful women to talk about their stories on a show called The Thais Leverett Show, which she recently interviewed and spoke with business leader Stacy Zakovich.
I have the pleasure of spending time with Stacy Zakovich, and we are here talking to women in the West Bloomfield area. We are right at the precipice of International Women's Day and looking forward to some exciting conversations. So I am really excited. And in your own words, Stacy, just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do. We just love to learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you for having me. So I'd like to say I'm a jack of all trades, master of many. Some people can only focus on one thing, and as my husband will say, I do a multitude of things in life because I never miss an opportunity. And from the moment he met me, that's what I've always said. So I do everything from taking care of seniors, citizens, and doing some placements, to the medical field, being on the board of healthcare systems, to starting a senior life advisor council group. I mean, you know, being a mom, being active within the community, and just being a face where people feel comfortable, and, you know, kind of being a problem solver. So, I mean, there's a lot. Oh, and I'm an author. Yes, I have a best-selling book about positivity and keeping people on their toes and just seeing life maybe a little bit differently.
No, that's great. You know, and I love to meet women who are doing a lot. And I'm always enthralled by hearing that. But the question on my mind is, how do you manage it all? And I definitely want to get to that. But before we get to that, I want to make sure that we know the name of your book.
Okay.
And how we can get it. So I don't want us to forget or leave this conversation without you sharing that at some point.
Thank you. I will.
But let's go back. So you are working with seniors, you're working with young people, you're working with your own family and your day-to-day. Give us some things that you do to keep it all in line, to manage it all, and to make sure that you're not only doing what you need to do for the external tasks that you have, but also for yourself.
I think the key to every day is when you wake up, you set the tone for how you want to have your morning, your afternoon, and your whole day. So I get up early. I've restructured my day. I get up early and it's my time. So I work out in the morning. I have a walking group, which is amazing accountability, so I can't miss.
Yes.
And we go and we walk at least 3 to 4 miles in the morning, and then I come back, get ready, and then I kind of just figure out what I'm going to do for the day. What are my plans? How am I going to accomplish? Set up an A list, a B list, and no matter what, as much as I don't want to do my A list, that has to be done first. Because those are the things that I don't want to do.
The priorities, yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have to think, okay, I made it through half my day, and this is the second part of my day. This is how I'm going to accomplish everything I need to. And sometimes if you need to just all of a sudden put on some good music, like I did today, I was like, oh, I need a moment. I put on something positive, something motivational, and I kind of got in the groove. And if you just move around a little bit, it's amazing what you can do for yourself. And setting your goals. But if you don't have goals set for the day, then how are you going to accomplish something?
For sure.
And the first thing I'm going to tell you is get up, make your bed. So no matter what, that you've accomplished something positive. I think that's a key. And then, when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, tell yourself you love yourself. We don't do enough self-talk. Have a sticky note on the mirror and tell yourself how wonderful you are.
For sure.
And start your day that way. And I think that that's a key to success in every day.
I think that's something a lot of women don't do. I think we get so bogged down with the daily task and the things we're trying to accomplish that we don't take the time to really respect and give ourselves grace.
We don't.
And to do things, to tell yourself, you're enough.
Right.
You're a great person. You're doing what you need to do. You're giving back in the ways that you can. Some people can give small, some people can give big.
Right.
It's not going to be the same for everyone.
And when is the last time that you actually looked in the mirror and said, I love you? I love you to
I
yourself.
have not done that.
Exactly. And when is the last time that you looked in the mirror so you can connect with yourself and say, I am awesome. Like, look at all the things I accomplished.
Yes.
We don't give ourselves enough credit.
We don't.
And I know that you don't, as being a mom too.
I don't. I don't. And we were just talking about that, just motherhood in general. I know a lot of people who will see this are moms, some are not.
Right.
Some are surrogate moms, whether they're a big sister, an aunt, whatever the case may be, but they're serving that role in someone's life. So what are some things that motherhood has taught you that you use more broadly in other areas of your life?
A lot. I very much used to be a perfectionist.
Yeah.
It was, this is the way it's done, and this is how we have to do it, and you have hard lessons to learn. But what I have learned is I'm a mom who's learning how to be a mom. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. Admitting when you did something like, hey, I kind of raised my voice. I'm really sorry. I overreacted. I should have just taken it all in, and I'm sorry. And I think that is so important to your children and to yourself, and to say, you know what, let's do this together, and make them part of what you're doing, and also let them have decisions. And as much as sometimes I'm like, don't talk back to me. Yes, right, don't talk to me.
Yes.
But I also don't want them to lose their identity and being told what to do.
That's great advice.
I want them to have a voice, to have an opinion, and also stand up for themselves. And if I sit there and say, don't talk to me that way, which, I do say, I am still your mom, you will respect me, let's figure this out.
However,
I
want to hear from you.
Right, and I do tell my daughter and my son, I'm like, don't ever lose what you have, because I love that about you. You're being funny, or you're being debatable.
That's sound advice.
And I think that's important, is just to listen. Don't have an opinion, and don't knock them and say, let's learn this together, and let them know that it's okay to make mistakes, but it's how you grow from there,
right,
and how you take care of that situation or that problem. You know, we've all been there. We've all been there.
And it's interesting because parenting now, like we notice that it's so different. Their experience as kids now is so different than ours was at their same age. So I'm learning from my kids all the time. I'm like, my goodness, I don't know if I could be your age now. I don't know how you guys do it. So kudos to our kids, and I appreciate your advice and how you approach parenting.
Thank you.
But let's look at the other end of the coin, because you said something earlier as we were talking that's also very near and dear to my heart, and that's helping and supporting seniors.
Yes.
My grandmother on April 4th of 2025 will be 101 years old.
She's doing something.
Yes, we celebrated her 100th last year, and it was a blast. It was great. So seniors are very, very special to me. I think there's so much to be learned from them. Can you share a little bit more about some of the things that you do for senior citizens and some of the things that you've learned from that community?
Absolutely. Listen, seniors feel, you know, they've been active their whole life.
Yeah.
They've been able to do things on their own, and all of a sudden, you know, as we age, our bodies ache, things happen, they can't do and have the mobility as they used to. Don't ever take that away from them. And just because you're busy doesn't mean that you don't have time for your parents. You are busy, that is just an excuse. We are all busy. But you know what, at the end of the day, it's about family, it is about taking time. And this is all lessons I had to learn, because
absolutely,
I was out there working, and you know, at some points I made that more of a priority, but I learned from that. And so as far as seniors go, is listen to them, take time for them. And so one of the groups that I created, we go to senior, I guess, I want to say senior living places, community centers, things like that, and we talk to them about education. It's all the things that they didn't need that they know that they needed to know, and that is huge, because I don't want anyone to be taken advantage of. And you know, we've got everyone from like powers of attorneys there. What about wills and trust? You know, what do you want to do when you want to sell your home? To everything from, I have a lot of stuff, how am I going to take all of this stuff, to downsizing, to senior placement, to home health and hospice. I mean, it's a whole array, and getting them to be able to understand and have a voice. Don't ever take that away from them. Just like you don't want your voice taken away.
Absolutely.
So I think that that's a key, and you know, and just being a good leader to try and help them be still independent. Who wants to lose their independence?
Right. And navigating this world is, it's, as we mentioned with our kids, right? It's vastly different from for them as well.
Right.
I know at one point there was a scammer like messing with my grandma, and so we had to have a whole conversation, much with the in line with the training that you do for seniors, to be aware of that and to understand how things are different and how to be protected.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So I want to know, as I read your bio, I was excited to ask you this question. So a former Mrs. Michigan.
Yes.
Tell me about that. What was that like? What was your journey to prepare for that, and how it felt the moment you won? I want to hear it all.
It's exciting. So I started my pageantry when I was younger, and I was actually a Miss Michigan.
Oh.
And so here's the thing about doing pageants. People think, oh, it has to be about beauty, and but it's not. It's about going in and doing interviews. Because I did them when I was younger, I was able to go into interviews as a younger adult, being able to ask and answer questions and have a great conversation, and to have a dialogue. And then I will also, when I was interviewing as an adult, again, it's just the interviewing skills, but it was not always about just me. It was about having a voice, advocacy, learning about other people, let them know that you can do anything you want. You are your own person that will stop you from doing whatever you want.
Right.
I was a school teacher before. I didn't have the career, the credentials, but I put it out there, and I was a school teacher for a couple of years.
So important.
And I think whatever you want to do, put your mind to it, and just do pageantries because of helping other people.
Yes.
Honestly. And it led to being a Mrs. It also helps keep me in fit, because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to get up there. And it just kind of keeps you motivated and have a voice and determination, and really allowing me not to care what other people think, because people have an opinion about everything. And you will have your haters because you're positive and you're happy.
Yeah.
And then you'll have people that want to pull you down. And at the end of the day, what makes you happy, what feeds your soul. And I don't know, I like the limelight. I do. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not for everybody.
Right.
But I love bringing joy and happiness into people's life. I love making people identify and feel that, wow, I could do that. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I had that in me.
Right, and you're using the limelight not for you, but for good.
Right.
And I think that's a different approach that people don't often expect or hear about. So kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you.
So I got one more question for you. You know, you have so many things that you're doing, so many areas in the community that you're touching, in addition to your own home and your responsibilities as a mom and everything else. What do you see as what's next for you? What are you going to go off and do in the future? What is your next moment of greatness?
Girlfriend, that is a loaded question.
I know.
Because I never know what opportunities are going to be brought to me.
Right.
And everyone's like, well, you've done this, and you've done this, and you've done this, and you've done that. And I said, isn't that great? I am not afraid to try new things. And whatever path that I go into, I'm using the experience that I had before and bringing it into this experience now. If something only lasts 2 years, that's okay.
Yeah.
And if I get led into another opportunity or path, that will be it. I do have something in my pocket that I'm thinking I might do.
Okay.
And
Stay tuned.
Yes. I keep saying only I can be the change, only I can make the change. And there's a lot of things that's going around in this country that I'm like, you know, how can I change this? How can I make things better? Or how can I be an advocate for everybody who wants to have a voice? And so there might be something in an arena of who knows?
Right.
But I just
But
want
you're open.
Yes, I'm open, but at the end of the day, I still want to do motivational speaking and get people to think about life, to be their best, to take them out of their shell, and to not stop thinking and caring what other people think and say.
And be.
Because that will
Embrace
destroy
yourself.
you. That will destroy you first-handedly, and to empower and don't be afraid. And number one is confidence. Confidence will take you anywhere. And to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you.
Well, thank you, Stacey. So really quick as we close, please, one more time, tell us how people can get in touch with you and also the name of your book.
Yes.
In case they want to get one from you.
Yes, I have the book called Positive Shift Ahead, 16 Ways to Redirect Negative Thoughts Quickly, which you can get on Amazon.
Great.
I did it, it's a very easy airplane read, and I did that specifically so people could just go as a quick reference and also be motivating to them. I also have a children's book called I Have a Choice.
Great.
And it's about being a leader, and just because you're best friends with someone doesn't mean that you have to do what they do, and to try and teach them at a young age to be an advocate for themselves and to be like, you know what, I matter, I am something.
That is great.
And then I do have a website, Positive Shift Ahead, that they can go ahead and look on, and of course you can always just find me and call me.
Wonderful. Well, let's conclude with a cheers.
I would love that.
Cheers to you,
Cheers.
Stacey. It was a pleasure talking to you. I look forward to the next time we can sit down again, have
Thank
a
you
glass
so
of
much.
wine, and talk more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stacey.
Oh, I'm almost jealous I wasn't invited for a glass of wine. Great talk, great segment, great show, and you can watch that entire show again. The Thais Leverett Show, highlighting impact for women in the greater West Bloomfield area for Women's History Month. Go directly to our website, civiccentertv.com, for more information regarding the Thais Leverett Show. Lost Sailor Fish and Gourmet. It has officially opened right here in Sylvan Lake, offering high-quality seafoods, meats, cheeses, and gourmet products, and it's all right in time for Lent as well. And we recently had an opportunity to speak with the proprietor of Lost Sailor Fish and Gourmet, David Krause, to tell us a little bit as to the inspiration to opening this restaurant and why they chose Sylvan Lake to open their restaurant as well. Joining me right here live on The Splash from Lost Sailor Fish and Gourmet, we have proprietor David Krause. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We appreciate you because you're bringing new food options to our area. That way we don't have to, we can have more things to try out. So first and foremost, talk about the inspiration to bringing Lost Sailor Fishing Gourmet to Sylvan Lake specifically?
Well, so I live about 12 minutes from Sylvan Lake. I live in West Bloomfield, and I drive down that Orchard Lake all the time. I have for a long, long time. I went to West Bloomfield High School, so I just think it's an underrepresented area for dining. It makes sense because there's spaces it's easy to get to. There's big parking lots in a lot of places, and I just don't feel like it's being utilized enough. And on a more specific note, as far as Lost Sailor, there used to be a fish market many years ago on 15 in Orchard Lake called Pomeroy's, and my family would get a lot of fish from there. I'd go there with my mom to pick stuff up, and I just felt like it was one of those things that was missing in our world today. It can't be about just driving to the big box grocery store and getting every single thing you need. I mean, I get it, we're under tight schedules and what have you, but you get a chance at Lost Sailor to see some stuff you're not going to see at the big box supermarket that I think you'll really appreciate.
Yeah, like you said, quality food, gourmet products. That's what makes the difference. So I'm glad that you painted that picture and put it out there because, yes, you can go to, I don't even want to say any names, but you can go to the big box stores and get anything in one shop. But why? Support local, support gourmet, and people that have specialty niches as well. So this new restaurant in our community, why don't you describe what the atmosphere will be like for someone entering for the first time?
Sure. My goal in my mind's eye was to create a place where you walked in and you felt like you could hear the waves crashing on the sea. The freshness is the key to that. And I think that when you come in, you see what kind of looks like a typical butcher or seafood shop or market, with the difference being that we have tables for you to dine in. We have a full kitchen. Our goal was to kind of let you decide what you wanted. You can come in, you can pick stuff up and go home and cook dinner for your family or for yourself. You can sit down and have it cooked for you. And as you touched on before, in our few short weeks of this soft opening, we've made it a habit every week of adding something someone asked for the week before to our repertoire, so that we could fill the local community's needs. We're an extension of the community now, in my mind.
Listen, let me tell you first and foremost, David, because I love that approach. I love when I can give some type of feedback or just give a suggestion to a business in general, and they actually take it into consideration and actually, execute it at that point. That lets me know that either they're just listening to me and taking it in, or there's a few people who felt the same way and they said, this is something the community wants. Let's consider this. Let's do this. So I love that you all are doing that. With that being said, we recently had a soft opening, right? If I'm not mistaken. Can you just talk about the community's response to your recent soft opening?
Well, it was all community. I mean, 9 out of 10 people that walked in the door I was meeting for the first time. By the time they left, we knew each other's names and kind of, our background stories. I don't have a sign up yet. That's how soft opening it is.
Oh, wow.
It was all based on social media outreach. The community, they took me in and come in every day, different members of the community, and say, I saw your post. I'm sharing it over here. This is where you got to kind of put it out there because so much of our community gets their information right here. So then I do that. And then that day, 5 new people would walk in and tell me that's how they heard of us. And again, it was that back and forth of, this is what we really like to eat. Okay, cool. That's something I can get for you. I'll do that. So it's very much that they have surprised me at how present they've been in just these couple of days that we've done.
Good. Man, that speaks volumes. Don't even have a sign up, word of mouth, social media. networking, and then you get a great turnout for a soft opening. Man, that speaks volumes, and congratulations on all your success so far. Join us right here, live on The Splash, representing Lost Sailor Fish and Gourmet in Sylvan Lake. We have proprietor David Krause talking about the soft opening, the establishment in general, and what they bring to the community. Here's an interesting note right here. It's officially Lent, if I'm not mistaken. But with Lent being a time when many people kind of steer away from meat and turn to seafood, how is Lost Sailor Fish and Gourmet catering to those observing this tradition?
We're just doubling down on what we've been doing. We're adding more fish items this week. I highlighted some of them in some of our social media as well, but we're bringing in some other stuff, both prepared from our kitchen and stuff for you to take home and cook. With exactly that in mind. It's a good time to do that. And we will have meat, more meat options to come in the future, but it's a great time to kind of introduce everybody to what the backbone of Lost Sailor is. We're your trustworthy fishmonger, you know. We're here to educate you where you want to be educated, but where you feel you already know, we're here to provide those things for you. So we tried to really expand what we're offering this week so that everybody could get a fish and some seafood that they like going in this first Friday of Lent.
Beautiful. And once again, very considerate, and I'm glad that we are giving you the platform to actually promote your business establishment during Lent season. That way people know that they have other places that they can go and support. For context purposes, I want you to answer this question for anyone who's aspiring to be a local restaurant or business owner. What challenges and successes have you encountered in launching a new restaurant right here in Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, I've opened a lot of places. This one is very, very personal to me. But my advice to anybody who is thinking about getting into this industry is very consistent. Sylvan Lake, Detroit, Dearborn, anywhere. Do it because you're passionate about it. Don't do it because you think it's some sort of cash cow or you think that it's going to reward you in financial ways that are beyond your dreams. The best rewards I've got out of this industry is being a member of a community, being part of a neighborhood, getting to meet people, getting to make their day a little better. If they had a rough day and they come in after work, get some oysters, they're going to feel better. And that's what this industry at its best is about, in my opinion. It's the hospitality industry first and foremost.
Yes, man, speak on it. Taking care of others, treating others how you want to be treated. I think that's a great 100%. Recipe, no pun intended. Hey, don't want to hold up too much more of your time. We appreciate everything that you are doing and bringing to our Greater West Bloomfield area. Lastly, just talk about what's next or what we can expect from Lost Sailor Fish and Gourmet, or any messages you want to get to the community.
Sure. So in the coming weeks, as we get closer to our grand opening, out of the soft opening kind of we're in, we're just going to keep on adding more stuff every week. Charcuterie, cheeses, meats, more fish, all kinds of fun gourmet items, caviar, things like that. But especially as we get into this season and get into spring and summer, I just think that you're going to have an outlet, and a real simple outlet, comfortable, pull in the parking lot. You want to make a good, clean, healthy dinner for your family, whether they love seafood, whether they love meat, whether they're vegetarian. I think I'm going to have the options for you to feel good about what you're fueling yourself and your family about. So I hope you'll come and check us out.
Well said, and we will definitely make sure we pay a visit as well. Once again, representing Lost Sailor Fish and Gourmet in Sylvan Lake, proprietor David Krause. We appreciate the time.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Love to hear about and talk about new food options right here in our area. You can check that out in Sylvan Lake, right off Orchard Lake Road. We'll have more information as they have their grand opening right here on Civic Center TV. Here's something cheerful for you to conclude our program today out of West Bloomfield, where the West Bloomfield Township Board recognized Helen Campbell for her volunteer efforts in the community. If you've walked the Civic Center complex, I should say, you have probably seen Helen out and about, keeping the public area clean, picking up the trash all across the area. The Township Board said their praises for Helen on Monday, applauding her for doing her part to beautify our community.
Helen makes an effort to walk around a good-sized radius around Town Hall, and with her grabber picks up litter and trash on the ground, and you get, if Helen, if I'm correct, you end up with quite a haul on some of those days. And I think it's encouraging to see what a difference a single human being can make in the world. I can speak for pretty much everyone on here when we see you out there that we appreciate it. So I know she doesn't like to be recognized, but we thought it was really, important.
And board members Terry Weingard and Jim Manna spoke of Helen's dedication and the impact that her kindness has on Greater West Bloomfield.
I'd look out my window and there would be Helen collecting trash, and then I'd be like walking my dog, there would be Helen. I'd be going down the road, there would be Helen. I'm like, this woman's unstoppable.
You represent the minority in the world, and I think it's absolutely beautiful what you're doing. God bless you. And I just want to say, it's people that head associations, which is a very thankless job. People that are on our committees, on our boards, our trustees. We work for very little pay, but we do this to give back to the community, and you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart, and I think it's absolutely great. So I'm going to change your name to Saint Helen Campbell, and just want to say thank you.
Thank you. All right.
And you can watch that entire recognition of Helen Campbell for her volunteer efforts at the recent West Bloomfield Township Board meeting on demand on our website, civiccentertv.com. Go ahead and check that out. And I've been your host, Kevin McIntosh. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the program today. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.